Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all the nations. Good morning, our friends, and good morning, the house of CCI. Wow, so good we can be together. God is going to deliver the people of God. They're in a symbolic place of sin, not achieving, not accomplishing, not living how the Father would have always planned for them to live, and having all the frustrations and the suffering of not being able to do it. So now the moment has come that God is sending somebody. His name is Moses. Moses being sent with a message. Now, as he's being sent, the Lord has spoken to him. They've had this exchange where he understands who the Lord is, that God is concerned and is sending a deliverer, sending somebody to deliver them so that they can be who God has always wanted them to be, so they can have what God has always wanted them to have, so they can do what God has always wanted them to do. So Moses says, how am I going to convince him? How am I going to convince him? So very interesting, the Lord says, here's some signs. So he takes his rod and throws it on the ground. When he throws it on the ground, it turns into a snake. Wow. So when he grabs the rod goes right back into the rod. How interesting. Then he takes a cup of water and says, pour it out, and it turns into blood. Blood, what is this? Then he takes his hand, sticks his hand into his jacket or into his coat, into his mantle, pulls his hand out, and what? It's leprous. Wow. Now, there's great symbolisms in each one of these things. First of all, the blood, you know what that symbolizes. It symbolizes the substitutionary death of Jesus. It symbolizes taking all sin off of humanity and putting it on Christ. It's talking about a new covenant where Jesus shed his blood so that we can be so forgiven that we literally are without sin. Can you get a hold of that? But that is wonderful. That is really wonderful in itself to be that forgiven. And then obviously have the consequence of being that forgiven so that the life of God comes in you. But the hand going into the garment, coming out leprous. Leprous is an incredible sign of what? It's a sign of being eaten, in the sense an infirmity that eats you. Leprosy, your body eats itself and the joints and falls off. Incredible symbolism here in leprosy. But leprosy basically symbolizes the old nature. The more it grows, the more carnal you are, the more selfish you are, the more it gets you, the more it causes you to suffer, the more it breaks the joints, the relationships, and just goes on and on and on. So the message that Moses has, first of all, the water, the blood, not only is there forgiveness to the degree that everything is gone and the life of God can come in you, but there's not just forgiveness. There is overcoming of carnality, of selfishness, of this whole dimension of who humanity has become because of sin. That in itself is so fantastic because, it's wonderful to be forgiven. But if you can't get rid of what produced the sins in the first place, hey, thank you, but, let's go a little bit further, And so that's it. We're going further. So not only have we just been forgiven, but now, what has taken place? Now what has taken place is this selfishness. I think the best word to describe humans, since they're separated from God, is just selfishness. Most humans are so selfish, they don't even know they're selfish. Just every now and then I see a baby and he finishes his bottle and he gently looks over at his mother and says, another bottle, please. No, he never does that. He throws a fit. Why? He's a human. Now, this is who humans are by nature. We're selfish. We're carnal. We're only out after our own good. Now, this is the incredible symbolism. Moses sticks his hand into his mantle, brings it out, totally leprous, totally eaten away by the selfishness and human frailties and carnalities. But then he puts it back in under this mantle. When he brings it out, it's totally healed. It's totally fresh. It's totally new. What is the message you're taking them, Moses? Not only can you be so forgiven that this is over, but now you can be renewed to where that this selfishness, this carnality, this oneness with yourself is over. And now you can be one with the Father again. And the rod. Oh yeah, the rod. What does that mean? Well, you know what that means. The rod symbolizes authority. It symbolizes power. And so what it's saying is that Moses' rod was thrown down, turned into a snake. Well, we know who that symbolizes. We know what that symbolizes. And then we see that Moses reaches right back and takes it up, and it turns into the rod again. Or in other words, Moses has been given authority over the devil. Moses has been given the ability to restore fallen humanity. And Moses has been given the ability to show the forgiveness that is so great that everybody can be restored and renewed. Go show them this. You go show them this. Show them this, they can be renewed. These are the signs that will let you liberate a nation. Hey, this is about you. You're the liberator here. Bless you. We'll keep talking about this.